Have you ever been in a discussion where you just feel like you're going in circles? Well, today, we're going to sharpen your logical skills by mastering one super powerful technique: how to correctly negate statements that use words like all and some. It might sound basic, but trust me, getting this right is the secret to thinking with way more clarity and precision.
So, let's kick things off with a little puzzle. If I tell you not everyone passed the test, what am I actually saying? Does that mean nobody passed? Or does it just mean at least one person didn't make the cut? There's a huge difference, right? And logic gives us a crystal clear answer. Let's go find it.
So here's the game plan for how we're going to build our negation skills. We'll start with the absolute fundamentals, the quantifiers themselves. Then we'll get into the simple flip that changes everything. After that, we'll level up by adding and or, tackle the really tricky if-then statements, and by the end, you'll have a complete guide to negate pretty much anything. All right, first up, let's get to know the two main characters in this story, the quantifiers. These are basically the words that tell us how many things a statement is talking about.
First, we've got the Universal Quantifier, and you'll always see it as this upside-down A symbol. This is your all-or-nothing guy. It means a rule applies to every single thing in a group with absolutely no exceptions. So whenever you see it, think for all or for every. For example, let's say P of x just means x is an even number. Well, this expression here with the upside-down A is saying for every single number x you can think of, that number is even. Now that's a pretty bold claim to make about all numbers, and that's exactly what the Universal Quantifier does. It makes big, sweeping statements. And on the other side, we have the Existential Quantifier, which is this backwards E. This one is way more chilled out. It doesn't need a rule to be true for everything. It just needs it to be true for at least one thing. So when you see this, think there exists, or for some, or at least one. So using that same example, this expression with the backwards E now means something totally different. It's saying there exists at least one number x out there that is an even number. See the difference? We're not claiming they're all even anymore, just that we can find at least one. So let's just quickly recap with this table here. The Universal Quantifier, that's our upside-down A, is making a claim about everything, while the Existential Quantifier, the backwards E, is just making a claim about something. You know, at least one thing. That is the fundamental difference, and it's absolutely crucial for what we're about to do next. Okay, so we've got our building blocks. Now let's bring in the negation symbol and see how it completely changes the game. This is where we learn the basic flip. You know, the main rule for negating quantifiers is actually incredibly simple and elegant. When you negate a statement, you just do two things. You flip the quantifier, so for all becomes there exists, and vice versa, and then you just push that negation inside to the statement itself. That's it. And there it is. This is the answer to our puzzle from the beginning. To say not everyone passed the test is logically the exact same thing as saying there exists someone who did not pass. So saying it's not true that every number is even is just a fancy way of saying there's at least one number out there that is not even. Once you see that flip, it just clicks. And what's really cool is that this works perfectly in the other direction too. If you want to say it's not true that there is even one even number, what are you really saying? You're saying that every single number is not even. The rule is consistent, it's powerful, and it just plain works. Okay, so we've got the hang of negating simple statements. But what about when things get more complex? You know, with words like and or. Let's add another tool to our kit. So this next rule is a giant in the world of logic. It's called De Morgan's laws. And the best way to think about it is this. When you negate a whole group of statements, you don't just negate the individual pieces, you also have to flip the little word that connects them. So, and becomes or becomes and. For example, if I said, it's not true that I have both my keys and my wallet, what am I really trying to tell you? I'm saying either I don't have my keys or I don't have my wallet. See how that and just naturally flipped into an or? That's De Morgan's law right there in real life. All right, time to level up to expert mode. One of the most common and, let's be honest, sometimes confusing structures in logic is the if-then statement. How on earth do we negate that? Here's the secret. The trick to negating an if-then statement is to first rewrite it. It turns out that the statement if A, then B is just another way of saying not A or B. Now, why is that so useful? Because we already know how to negate an or statement. By just reframing it, we've turned a brand new problem into one we already know how to solve. This slide just walks us through the whole process. We start with trying to negate if P then Q. First, we do our little rewrite trick, turning it into the negation of not P or Q. Then we bring in De Morgan's law. The negation outside flips the or to an and negates both pieces. That double negative on the P just cancels itself out, and look what we're left with, P and not Q. So the opposite of if P then Q is simply P happens but Q doesn't. It's a really elegant little transformation.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've learned how to flip quantifiers, we know how to handle ands and ors, and we've even cracked the code on if-then statements. So let's put it all together in one place.
And here you have it, your complete negation toolkit. This table has every single rule we've talked about today. On the left, you've got the original statement, and on the right, what its negation looks like. This is your ultimate cheat sheet for getting your logical negations right every single time. You're probably going to want to screenshot this one.
Look, with this toolkit, you're not just memorizing a bunch of rules. You're actually learning a new, more precise way to think. This stuff is the foundation of clear reasoning, whether you're debugging code, debating a complex topic, or honestly just trying to make a point with your friends. So, the real question is, what are you going to analyze first with your new logical superpowers?